Friends, welcome back to my YouTube channel. Myself, Vishnu Adole. I'm working as a assistant professor in the Department of Chemistry, Mahatma Gandhi Vidya Mandir, Art, Science and Commerce College, Manmad. Friends, in this video, we are going to discuss a very important topic from the spectroscopy. I'm interested today to discuss with you UV visible spectroscopy. Friends, UV visible spectroscopy is also called as electronic spectroscopy. And this topic is very important for TY chemistry students, MSc chemistry students, and the students who are preparing exams like IIT JAM, SLATE, NET, GATE, PhD entrance examinations, and other chemistry based government examinations. Let us discuss this topic in detail. Friends, UV visible regions are divided into two types, ultraviolet region and visible region. Ultraviolet region has wavelength range 10 nanometer to 400 nanometer, and the visible region has the wavelength range 400 to 800 nanometer. Friends, when any compound absorbs the UV radiation, absorb the UV visible radiation in this range, that is 400 to 800 nanometer, it shows color. Friends, ultraviolet region is further divided into near UV and far UV. Near UV has wavelength range 200 to 400 nanometer and far UV is below 200 nanometer. This far UV is studied under vacuum condition. This is not important as far as organic chemistry is concerned. Two important regions are important for organic chemistry, and these two regions are near UV and visible region. Friends, let us discuss the principle of UV visible spectroscopy. In UV visible spectroscopy, we bombard the sample by electromagnetic radiation. That is, electromagnetic radiations are passed through sample, and when electromagnetic radiations are passed through sample absorbs the UV radiation and undergo excitation of electrons, which is called as electronic excitation. In electronic excitation, electrons are excited from lower energy level to higher energy level. Electronic excitation is also known as electronic transition, and this electronic excitation results in UV spectrum. Friends, UV spectrum is a plot of absorbance versus wavelength. In this UV spectrum, two peaks are present, peak 1 and peak 2. Peak 2 is to the right hand side, therefore peak 2 is having more wavelength than peak 1. However, as height of peak 1 is greater than height of peak 2, peak 1 is having more absorbance value than peak 2. These two terminologies are important when you will discuss UV spectroscopy in detail. Friends, to understand the UV spectroscopy, we must understand types of electrons present in the organic compounds. As UV spectroscopy is involving electronic excitations, we must understand what are different types of electrons present in the organic compounds. There are two important types of electrons present in the organic compounds, bonding electrons and non-bonding electrons. Let us discuss this compound. Now, this compound is phenol. Friends, it is having sigma bonds, pi bonds. The electrons present in the bonds are called as bonding electrons. However, the electrons which are not part of bond called as non-bonding electrons. Non-bonding electrons are also called as lone pairs and unshaded electron pairs. Friends, the electrons present in the pi bond are called as pi electrons, and the electrons present in the sigma bonds are called as sigma electrons. So, on this basis, electrons are of three types: sigma electrons, pi electrons, and non-bonding electrons. Friends, I would like to tell you one important thing. As sigma and pi electrons are part of bond, they are more stable than non-bonding electrons. Let us discuss LCAO principle. Friends, LCAO means linear combination of atomic orbitals. Now this principle is very important to discuss the concept of molecular orbitals. According to LCAO principle, n atomic orbital combines and forms n molecular orbital. Let us take this example. If two atomic orbitals combine, then they will form two molecular orbitals. If five atomic orbitals are combined, they will form five molecular orbitals. And the molecular orbitals are further divided into two types: bonding molecular orbitals and anti-bonding molecular orbitals. As here two molecular orbitals are formed, out of these two molecular orbitals, one is bonding molecular orbital and another is anti-bonding molecular orbital. If four atomic orbitals combine, they will form four molecular orbitals. Out of four, two will be bonding molecular orbitals and two will be anti-bonding molecular orbital. Friends, as this is bonding, as this is part of bond, bonding molecular orbitals are more stable than anti-bonding molecular orbitals. Let us take this example. Here, I have taken one example in which carbon is sigma bonded to other carbon. So, there is presence of sigma bond. To form this sigma bond, p orbital of this carbon must combine with p orbital of this carbon. That is, two p orbitals are combining. So, according to this principle, as two p orbitals are combined, they will form two molecular orbital. As this is sigma bond, the two molecular orbitals will be sigma and sigma star. Sigma is bonding, sigma star is anti-bonding. Sigma is more stable than sigma star, as sigma is bonding molecular orbital. Now, let us discuss this example. Here, carbon is bonded to other carbon by sigma bond and also by pi bond. Sigma bond will form two orbitals according to LCAO principle, sigma orbital and sigma star orbital, and pi will form two orbitals, pi and pi star. Pi is bonding, pi star is anti-bonding. Friends, sigma bonds are stronger than pi bond. So sigma orbitals will be more stable than pi orbital. That is, sigma bonding is more stable than pi bonding orbital. Friends, as we know that in UV spectroscopy, electronic excitation takes place, we must discuss various types of electronic excitations which occur in UV spectroscopy. Friends, here energy diagram is written. Let us discuss this energy diagram. In this diagram, sigma is placed at the bottom because sigma bonding molecular orbitals are more stable than pi bonding molecular orbitals, and pi bonding molecular orbitals are more stable than non-bonding orbital. These two are bonding, therefore more stable than non-bonding. Now, these two are pi star and sigma star orbitals. Sigma star is placed at the top of the energy level diagram because it is highly unstable, and non-bonding is in between. Now, in compounds having sigma bond, electrons are excited from sigma orbital to sigma star orbital, and this is called as sigma to sigma star electronic excitation. Whenever non-bonding electrons are present, electrons will be excited from non-bonding orbital to sigma star orbital, and that is called as N2 sigma star. In compounds having multiple bonds such as double and triple bond, electrons are excited from pi to pi star orbital, and compound having non-bonding electron along with multiple bonds, electrons are excited from non-bonding to pi star orbital. So electronic excitations are of four types, and these electronic excitations are sigma to sigma star, N2 sigma star, pi to pi star, N2 pi star. Here excitation from sigma to sigma star. Here excitation from non-bonding to sigma star. Here excitation from pi to pi star. Here excitation from non-bonding to pi star orbital. So these are the four types of electronic excitation which take place in organic compound. Friends, now if we compare this electronic excitation energy wise, then you can see the difference between the energy levels. Sigma to sigma star requires more energy as there is more energy difference for electronic excitation. Then N2 sigma star requires less energy than sigma to sigma star. Pi to pi star requires less energy than N2 sigma star, and N2 pi star requires least amount of energy for the electronic excitation. The reason is quite simple. The energy gap between N2 pi star is less, therefore it requires less energy for the electronic excitation. Friends, according to the Planck relation, we have the equation E is equal to h nu. E is energy, h is Planck's constant, nu is frequency. Nu can be written as c upon lambda. So Planck relation becomes hc upon lambda, where lambda is the wavelength and c is the velocity of light. Here I want to point out one thing. Energy and wavelength are inversely proportional to each other. Means if energy is high, wavelength will be low, and if energy is low, wavelength will be high. So already we have discussed sigma to sigma star requires more energy. This means that sigma to sigma star will have less wavelength, and N2 pi star requires least amount of energy. It will have high wavelength. So this is the wavelength order. So N2 pi star has more wavelength than pi 2 pi star. Pi 2 pi star has more wavelength than N2 sigma star, which is in turn has more wavelength than sigma 2 sigma star. So from examination point of view, this energy sequence and wavelength sequence very important for the students. Let us discuss some examples to understand the UV visible spectroscopy. Friends, sigma to sigma star occurs in the compounds containing sigma bonds. Sigma bonds are present in saturated compounds such as alkane. Methane, ethane, butane will have sigma to sigma star transitions. N2 sigma stars will occur in those compounds which are having heteroatom. So heteroatom with sigma bonds will show N2 sigma star transition. These are some examples. See here, sigma bonds are present along with heteroatom, and heteroatoms contain lone pair. So from lone pair to sigma star, the electrons are excited. So electronic excitation N2 sigma star. N2 pi star electronic excitation will occur in those compounds which will have non-bonding electrons along with the multiple bond. So heteroatom conjugation with multiple bond and heteroatom attached to multiple bonds will show N2 pi star transition. See here friends, lone pairs of oxygen are in conjugation with benzene. Here lone pair of nitrogen conjugation with benzene. Here lone pair is a part of double bonds, that is oxygen is a part of double bond which is containing lone pair, and here cyanide is another example. In all these examples, electrons are excited from non-bonding orbitals to the pi star orbitals. Let us consider pi to pi star transition. Pi to pi star transition occurs in the compounds containing multiple bond. Benzene, ethylene, acetylene will have pi to pi star transition. Friends, here in these examples, pi bonds are present. So this compound will also show pi to pi star transition. Along with this, they are showing N2 pi star transition. So sigma bonded compounds, sigma bonds will show sigma to sigma star. Sigma bond with lone pair will show N2 sigma star. Multiple bonds will show pi to pi star. And if they are having lone pair, they will show N2 pi star transition also. Friends, can you point out the type of electronic excitation present in this compound? So, as this is multiple bonded system, it will have pi to pi star transition. Now, in this compound, multiple bonds are present. So, it will have pi to pi star transition along with N2 pi star transition as lone pair with double bond is present. Now, this compound is sigma bonded compound, and here it is having heteroatom. So N2 sigma star transition will be present, and also it will have sigma to sigma star transition. But here N2 pi star transition is not possible as multiple bond is absent. Now, this is the anisole. In the anisole, as double bonds are present, it will have pi to pi star, and heteroatom is in conjugation with double bond, so it will have N to pi star transition. This is another example in which double bonds are present, so it will have pi to pi star transition, but it will not have N to pi star transition because lone pairs are not in conjugation. For that, conjugation is required. Now this is dimethyl ether. It will have sigma to sigma star and N to sigma star as lone pair and sigma bond is present. So friends, I hope that this topic is properly understood. I thank you for watching this video. Thank you very much. Like and subscribe my channel to watch more videos. In next video, we are going to discuss more about UV spectroscopy. Thank you.